got feedback after this presentation. One person was identifying that I was talking fast. So it's naturally I talk fast. So when I'm talking fast, just tell me to slow down so that you can understand what I'm saying. Especially when people tell me that I'm waiting 10 minutes. They want to rush so that you can cover some of the stuff that you need to cover. Okay, so during the morning, we were looking at the story of the time of the end. And what we managed to do is we managed to go through the quotes that identify this time of the end. So what I've done is I've studied the history of ancient Israel, right? When ancient Israel starts under Moses up to the end. And the things that I'm going to show you is that we already discussed that we're going just to show the number 2 with ancient Israel. Then we're going to zoom in on the story of the time of the end, but we're going to focus specifically in the book of Daniel, how Daniel is identifying the time of the end. Right? Good. But just as a rundown of what we've identified, what did I identify in the morning is the symbol, or what the wonderful number identifies the time of the end is. What does it give for the time of the end? It gives the number 2, showing you a progression of that history of the time of the end. So, given that in mind, we said this history starting with ancient Israel, and it's going forward through history up to the close of time. So, at this time of the end, God raised up 2 people. A is who? Aaron. And who's M? Moses. Right. So you see these 2 people. And I went on to mention that, for example, in Daniel chapter 3, how many people were there? God's people. Daniel 3, right? It's Daniel 3. 3 people, right? And each person is representing a message, right? So Sister says that these angels represent a class of people, so a person can be a message, right? So there are 3 people, and it's representing a message. So you have these 2, and you have. So you see, it said that it can be years, because a day is a year, a day can be a message. Right? Remember in the story of the baker, there were 3 days, and each day is a message. We are told that in the 3rd year of the reign of Joachim, king of Judah, came Babylon, showing that it's a close probation. That's why he says the 3rd. Right? Okay, good. So you see these 2. At the end of this history, because there were 2 family members at the beginning, we have to see 2 family members at the end. And their names correspond to the work that they have to do in that end. So here we have got Hophni and Phinehas, right? And this history ends, right? Then I could have done even for the beginning of Israel after Shiloh is finished, but I just skipped that. Then I ran to the end of Israel after this time of the end. To the end of Israel, you see this gap of when Hoshea comes, and then when the besieging ends with the carrying away of captives, you see a gap of 2 years, which this is already in the public record. Right? And this begins the prophet that we know as the 2520. This begins the prophets that we know as the 2520. So I know it's a bit cluttered because the board is small. I don't know what happened to the big board. Then from 7, so this starts the 2520 prophets, right? Which ends in 1798, right? But prior to 1798, we already learned from Brother Nyasha what he was identifying of the events that were marking that history of that time of the end. There was a treaty that happened in 1797. Those who noted what he was identifying. Right? But I'm saying there's a progression of events that are surrounding the end of this time prophecy. Like there was a progression of events that led to the carrying away captive of this history. Right? There's a progression of events that leads to the dissolution of the papacy at the end here. Right? And it's a 2-year history. Are we together? Right? Because Christ declares the end from the beginning. Right? Then after this history, you have the history of this is the northern tribe, right? Which are taken away captive. Am I correct? Right. So in terms of the southern tribes, right, we know that the curse begins in 677, but in actual fact, Babylon deals with 3 kings, the last 3 kings of Judah, right? And then 609, 610, depending on which source you see, is the rise of Babylon. Right? Babylon is rising into power. Right? Then 607. If you remove these markers, guys, don't put them back there. 607. Right. In 607, Daniel 1:1 says that in the 3rd year of the reign of Joachim, king of Judah, who comes? And what does he do? He carries them away captive. Right. But according to Jeremiah identifies that the children of Israel are going to, that Babylon was going to accomplish 70 years, right, of captivity. But at the end of the 70 years, it was going to be punished. Yes, sir.
So is that 605 at the end?
This is 605, 604.
Sorry, just tell me the 3 dates there.
609, 607, 605.
Okay.
Depending, 605, 604, 607, 606, depending on how you are reckoning it. Right? Are you still together? So it's a bit, okay, let me rub off. But I don't think it's fine. So, and then here, after these 2 years, you can also mark also the Battle of Carchemish. Yeah, but I'm not going to deal with that. 605, 604. Right? Are people being confused with the dates? Or you cannot see my writings?
What's the next one?
Very tired.
Right? Okay, good. This is the rise of Babylon. This is the taking away of captivity of the Jewish nation. And this is the Battle of Carchemish. But what I'm going to be looking at is that Babylon falls after 70 years. Right? 538, 539, when Cyrus comes. Right? And then the children of captivity are given the first decree in 536. So I'm saying, when you look at this history, you see this 2-year period, which I'm marking. I don't know what this means, but it's there. Like, for example, for Carchemish, and this is the time of the end, and I'll explain why I have 540 here. Right? I'm going to explain that why. I might not know exactly why it is exactly like this, but I know for the rise of Babylon, the taking away of the children of captivity, you see that pattern, but there's this extra pattern of these 2 years. That is there. It's there. I don't know exactly what it means, but it's there, right? And then this history leads to the building up of the temple, right? With 536 at this time of the end, and it ends with this time of the end with Christ, and God raises up John and Jesus, but just put his JJ, right? And you see again a figure of this number 2, right? And that history concludes there, right? And then in terms of what Brother Nyash was identifying, he identified that in 1989, according to what was identifying, that Daniel 11 verse 40 part A was fulfilled, right? But it is not until 1991, right? It was the people who give an argument that the Soviet states were dissolved by 1991. Soviet government was dissolved by 1991. So you see this progression from 1989 up to 1991. So you see again this number 2. So I'm just saying, Sister always says that it is the chain of prophecy that is bound Satan. Right? Satan has been bound by this chain of prophecy. So from the beginning, and look what we're identifying, that at all this time of the ends, God produces 2 classes of people. That is why at every point in its history, there has always been a remnant of people of God. God has always had been, I don't know, there's a conference there.
No, sorry. It's like the camera thing.
Oh, okay, cool.
Cutting you.
Okay. So I'm saying, at every point in its history, God has a remnant. There's a remnant people of God at every age in its history, right? So, because it is the golden chain of prophecy that binds Satan, so Satan is bound by this line up to the close of probation. And God has already marked this, because in each stage, God is producing 2 classes of people, 2 classes of people, 2 classes of people. One is satanic, one is not satanic. You see that? So this whole history is the story of the binding off. Satan has been bound off from the beginning of ancient Israel up to the end. You see? So that's what prophecy does. Right? It shows you these 2 classes of people, but in actual fact it is the story of the separation of the classes, the 2 classes in the everlasting gospel. Then we are going to go to the book of Daniel. Right? Let's go to the book of Daniel. So, I don't know, had Ren touched 9/11 yet?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to touch 9/11 by faith in this way, midnight and midnight, right? Because I was thinking that this will be covered. Because I want to put forth some propositions in Daniel chapter 7, 8, 9, and 10 concerning the time of the end, because it is the book of Daniel that mentions the time of the end. So if anything about the book of Daniel, it should be giving specifications about the time of the end. At least, because it's the book of Daniel that gives you that phrase, the time of the end. Right? Are we together? Nice. Please remember. Yeah. Okay, good. So let's start with Daniel 7, verse 1. So Daniel 7, 1, Daniel 8, 1, Daniel 9, 1, and Daniel 10, 1, and Daniel 11, 1. Right? Are we together? Okay. So Daniel 7, 1. So I want to cover too much ground without having my audience understanding what I'm having to say. Because what I'm going to be presenting is linked to what Nyasha is saying. So I know if I leave out some of the things that I'm going to say, Nyasha is going to say. Or if Nyasha doesn't say, then I know Ryan is going to say some of the things. But I want to make sure that the point that I want you to understand about the time of the end has been hammered out. Good. So Daniel 7:1. In the first year of the reign of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream, and the visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told some of the matter. So this is the first year of Belshazzar. But who's Belshazzar?
Second rule of Babylon.
He's the second ruler of Babylon. So Belshazzar is the United States. And it's the first year of the rule of the United States. What was happening in Babylon is this. Belshazzar the father was the 5th king of Babylon. What was his name? Nebuchadnezzar.
He was the 6th.
6th, yes. Yes, 6th. Yes, Belshazzar's father was called Nabonidus, and he was the 6th king. Right? So you know what his father said to him? I think when he was 15 years old. He said, you know what, my son, I need you to be also a ruler with me when I'm not here. You can also give exactly the same commands as I can give the same commands. So he became the 2nd ruler. And I'm saying by the time he's being made the 2nd ruler, it's marking the time of the end. But it's the history when the United States becomes a subject of Bible prophecy. Because we're saying that from the time of the end here, the United States is now subject of Bible prophecy in that we are now looking at the conclusion of the history of the United States. Have I lost anyone so far? Okay, sir.
Maybe you could clarify a bit on the concept of first and second ruler.
Okay. In terms of
Maybe using Daniel 2. I think
Daniel
Daniel 2 is
is an answer. Okay. Okay. In terms of kingdoms, right? Okay. In terms of standards, in terms of kingdoms, in terms of Daniel chapter 7, in terms of Daniel chapter 2, Daniel 2, Revelation 17 is this. End time Babylon is a threefold union. Everyone understands that, right? Understands that. And they rule together as one. Right? But when they rule together as one, there is hierarchy, there is graded order. Sister always says that under one head, the papal power. So if the papal power is the head, there are other parts that are in that threefold union, and they come in their order. Okay, good. So I'm just going to put in terms of Revelation 17 and Daniel chapter 2, as he has said. We're going to put number 1. We're going to put number 1 is Babylon. Number 2 is the Medes and Persians. Number 3 is the Grecians. Right? Number 4 is pagan Romans. Right? Number 5, papal Rome. Number 6, United States. Right? Number 7, UN. Number 8, but we've read quotes, and he has shown correctly, I don't know if he showed it correctly, but he showed that at the Sunday law, verse 42, 43, and verse 41, 42, 43, they kiss each other, they are together. Right? Why? Because it's under this threefold union that they do what they do, right? So the USA works with these other nations to make it a threefold union of this sixth kingdoms. Right? But Sister always says in another quote that it's under one head, the papal power. So who's the first ruler? It's the head. So it's the papacy. So in terms of what he has been identifying with how Rome comes into power, it removes 3 obstacles. Right? And as it removes 3 obstacles, right, it's going to remove, here it's going to be the first one. Right? The second one to be conquered is going to be the second in fiddle. Then the third one to be conquered is going to be the third in fiddle, in command. Right? So it's going to be first, it's going to be the papacy, the USA, and Greece. Right? And in terms of the statue, the papacy is Babylon, right? Of Daniel chapter 2. The papacy is Babylon. The USA is the Medes and the Persians, is the arms and the chest. Right? So these are the Medes and the Persians. And then the belly is Greece. Right? This is the headquarters that directs the things in the head. That's what the brain does. The arms are the one that forces the people, right? And then the belly is the digestive tract, which feeds the whole body, right? So you see, in terms of this graded order, this one is the first ruler, this one is the second ruler, this one is the third ruler, but they rule together, and they have the same powers. But their rulership is based upon who comes first in history. It is the papers that comes first, because first conquers the USA, then it conquers the United Nations. But they rule together. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I just need you to clarify on the part that you mentioned that the papacy is going to remove 3 obstacles. Okay. And you said the 3 obstacles is the papers, the USA, and
No.
Greece.
There's the king of the south already.
Oh,
But already is gone. And the king of the south manifests himself in Greece.
Oh.
Because it's the dragon power.
okay.
Does it make sense? It manifests itself in the United Nations organization. Because the United Nations is the dragon power. Because the dragon power moves in history. Right? But the point I want to get at is this. This is the first ruler, this is the second ruler, and this is the third ruler. But they rule together 1 hour with the beast. But this is where I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. So let's go back to where I was. So I'm saying Daniel 7:1 is identifying the time of the end, where the United States of America becomes a focus of Bible prophet. That's why we're now saying that there shall be yet 4 kings. Daniel 11 verse 1 to 4 is now identifying the USA from the time of the end, where the United States becomes the second ruler of the world. Because it's not accomplishing what it was supposed to accomplish. When it came into existence, it was not yet accomplishing. But now it is now doing the biddings of the mother. Right? So I'm saying Daniel 7:1 is marking this waymark. So I have quotes for this, but I'm not going to read the quotes now because I'll do what I'll have to repeat the history of the morning and finish what to get my points where I want to go to. So let's go to Daniel chapter 8. Daniel chapter 8, verse 1. Are we there? In the 3rd year of the reign of Belshazzar, a vision appeared unto me, even unto me, Daniel, after that which appeared unto me at the first. So, what appeared unto Daniel at the first?
Chapter 7.
Huh? Daniel chapter 7. Right? So that means Daniel chapter 8 and Daniel chapter 7 are the same. But the emphasis for me is identifying the time of the end. And Sister Out is going to tell you that it's the time of the end. Right? And how many years are between the first and the 3rd year? 2 years. So I'm going to put Daniel 7:1 here. In Daniel 8:1. Right. And this is marking the time of the end. Daniel 7:1 and Daniel 8:1 are time of the end. Why? Because these 2 verses are already linked together. Do you see that? Right? And Sister will tell you that. Okay, Sister will tell us as well. Then Daniel chapter 9, verse 1. It says that in the first year of Darius, the son of Ahasuerus, of the seed of the Medes, which was made king over the realm of Chaldea, in the first year of his reign, I, Daniel, understood by the books the number of years where the word of the Lord came unto Jeremiah the prophet, that he would accomplish 70 years in the desolation of Jerusalem. The first year of Darius, what is it? It is the time of the end. right? And the first year, the third year of Daniel, of Belshazzar and the first year of Darius are the same year. And we're going to show that. Right? So I'm going to put Daniel chapter 9, 1 here. Because it's marking the same way, man. And sister will tell you that he's coming to finish off what he started here. The same thing. And there's a short space of time. Right? Let's go Daniel chapter 10 verse 1. I know how we're putting Daniel 10 verse 1 here, but I put Daniel 10 verse 1 here. Right? Let's go Daniel 10 verse 1. In the third year of Cyrus, king of Persia, a thing was revealed unto Daniel, whose name was called Belshazzar. And the thing was true, but the time appointed was long, and he understood the thing and had understanding of the vision. So in this third year, he sees a vision, but it's the time of the end. But this is not how I'm approaching it. I'm putting Daniel 10:1 here. You can put Daniel 10:1 here. It's very possible, but for the point that I want to make. In those days, Daniel was mourning 3 full weeks. In which days? In the days of the third year of Cyrus, king of Persia. So he says, I was mourning 3 full weeks. Which is what? 21 days. Which takes it to. Okay. Then he says, I ate no pleasant bread, neither came flesh nor wine in my mouth, neither did I anoint myself at all, till 3 whole full weeks were fulfilled. And in the 24th day of the first month, as I was by the side of the great river, which is called Hiddekel. This is the 24th day. And there are 3 days here, which are symbolized by the 3 touches of Daniel chapter 10. This has already been covered, right? And in the 24th day of the first month, as I was by the side of the great river, which is Hiddekel, I lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man, clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with fine gold and of Uphaz. And his body was like the beryl, and his face is the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as the lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet like a color to polished brass, and the voice of his words like a voice of a multitude. And I, Daniel, alone saw the vision, for the men that were with me saw not the vision, but a great quaking fell upon them, that they fled to hide themselves. Therefore I was left alone and saw the great vision, and there remained no strength in me. For my comeliness was turned in me into corruption, and I retained no strength. And I heard the voice of the words. So, yet heard I the voice of his words, and when I heard the voice of his words, then was I in deep sleep on my face, and my face towards the ground. And behold, an angel touched me. So this is the first touch, right? So it's going to be touched 3 times in this history, and I'm saying each touch is the day up to the 24th, right? And behold, an hand touched me and set me upon my knees and upon my corns. And he said unto me, O Daniel, man greatly beloved, understand the words that I speak unto thee, and stand upright, for unto thee I am now sent. And when he had spoken this word unto me, I stood trembling. Right? Then said he unto me, Fear not, Daniel, for from the first day that thou didst set thine heart to understand and to chasten thyself before thy God, thy words were heard, and I am come for thy words. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days. But lo, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me, and I remained there with the kings of Persia. Right? Now I am come to make thee understand what shall befall thy people in the latter days, for yet the vision is 40 days. And when when he had spoken such words unto me, I set my face towards the ground, and I became dumb. And behold, one like the similitude of the sons of men touched my lips. Then I opened my mouth, and spake, and said unto him that stood before me, O my Lord, by the vision my sorrows are turned upon me, and I have restrained no strength. For how can the servant of this my Lord talk with this my Lord? For as for me, straightway there remain no strength in me, and neither is there breath left in me. Then they came again and touched me, one like the appearance of a man, and he strengthened me, and said, O my greatly beloved, fear not, peace be unto you, be strong, yea, be strong. And when he had spoken unto me, I was strengthened, and said, Let my Lord speak, for thou hast strengthened me. Then he said, Knowest thou wherefore I am come unto thee? Now I will return to fight with the prince of Persia, and when I am gone forth, lo, the prince of Grecia shall come. But I will show thee which is noted in the word of Scripture, of truth. And there is none that holdeth with me these things but my great prince. I'm not going to touch on the intricacies of the details of what's happening in this history, but where I was rushing to, what I wanted to get is that Christ is going to show him what is noted in the word of Scripture. But what he's showing him is this. He's showing him what shall befall his people in the latter days. Right? And I'm saying, what shall befall his people in the latter days? Yes, you can mark Daniel 10:1 here, prophetically. It was Daniel 10:1 is identifying the end of the 70-year captivity, right? Which is here. But also, given the structure of the verse, it takes you here, right? But what is identifying now is that it's giving you that it is not a mistake now that after this history, whilst before we get to midnight, God is beginning to clarify issues surrounding this history. Daniel 11 verse 40 to 45 gives you the skeleton, right? It's already been shown that this is verse 40, right? And then he takes you to the Sunday law, which is what? Verse 41, 42, and 43. But the Bible appears as if it's mute in the book of Daniel. When you read Daniel 11 verse 40 to 45, concerning the intricacies of what happens between here up to here. And you already know that there are things that happen from here up to here, from what has been presented earlier on. Are we still together? Mm-hmm. And I don't think it's a coincidence that Daniel 10:1 has to start here at 9:11 when it comes to the explanation of these things. Because it's only in this history where God is beginning to clarify these issues, not prior to this history. Are you understanding where I'm coming from, where I'm going? Mm-hmm. So God is now beginning to clarify in this history. What does it say? It's Daniel 10. 10:11. Where it talks about, verse 14. Now I am come to make thee understand what shall befall thy people in the latter days, for yet the visions for many days. So Gabriel is coming to explain what is befalling thy people, because the thing is with our history now is that unlike every other history that has been there, right? The current events that we are facing in Christendom are what is marked in Scripture. William Miller, when he was marking his prophecies, how was he marking his prophecies? He said that, I saw that prophecies in the past that were fulfilled literally. Right? And is how the prediction is given were fulfilled. So in the future, they have to be fulfilled like that. But all his prophecies, where were they dating? In the past. And they were in relation to time. Our history, does it have any relation with time? No, time shall be no longer. Right? So, how can you mark the events of our time? How do we understand now the events of our time? We use line upon line, history. Use ancient history, but what history do you compare with? modern history. History and prophecy don't agree. So when you're looking at ancient history, that's prophecy. But the history that you're now looking at is the current events. They both have to agree. So for me, it's not an accident for Daniel 10 to be here. Because this is when God is now beginning to show his people what are before his people in the last days. Does it make sense? Right? So, when Daniel 7 is saying in the first year of the reign of Belshazzar, right, I saw a vision. It's a marking the time of the end. Right? And then in the third year, Babylon falls. And you see this 2-year period to the fall of Babylon. But when he says in this year of Darius, it's exactly the same. Even Stephen Haskell marks that. Right? Sister White also marks that, but you need to bring the course line upon line. Are we still together? So it's identifying the history where the United States becomes the sixth kingdom of Bible prophecy. And it's very important for you to understand so that when you go to Daniel chapter 7, when you're now looking at the 4 kings, we are starting at 1989. Because Daniel 7 verse 1 starts at 1989. Right? Because it will give you 4 beasts. And you're going to use these 4 beasts as the 4 kings that arise in the United States from 1989. I don't want to lose people here. Does anyone have a question? Because people look very confused. But it's a new concept, I know, but it's not a new concept because it's already marked. Because we've already been applying these things like this. Right? 21, are we together? 3 days. Mrs. Nyon, we're together now. Ah, good. Right? I can proceed. Okay, good. Where's the passage there? You need this. You need this thing. Yeah, I need my notes. You want his laptop? No. I need this. This gadget. So what is going to get this gadget? So what we're saying is this: is all the time of the ends of ancient history are pointing to the last time of the end in our history. Right? And I'm saying this time of the end is marked by Daniel 7:1 and Daniel 8:1 and Daniel 9:1. Right? To show you this number 2 that we've been identifying in 1989. But already, Daniel 7:1, in 1989, he has already covered that. Who was the president that was there? In 1989? Bush the Great. But who else was there with them to make the truth? Reagan. Right? In the same year. Like one was going out, one was coming in. Right? Ronald Reagan and Bush, you can call him the Great or the First, whichever way you want to look at it. Right? And here, the United States begins to be the sixth kingdom of Bible prophecy. Because remember, Christ declares the end from the beginning. In the beginning, he was the sixth. But now, this is the conclusion of his term. Okay, it's fine. Right? And like in every other succeeding generation is the... Yes, my friend.
I just wanted to give a point to confirm what you're saying. That in 1989 you've got the United States fulfilling a role as the second ruler. Because when the Soviet Union collapsed, what happened is Bush shortly afterwards announced the New World Order. And when you look at the New World Order, it's not just a one-world government. The New World Order is a general term that's used when there is a significant shift in the balance of power in the world. When one nation becomes stronger than the rest. So the Soviet Union and the United States were 2 contending superpowers in the world. But when the Soviet Union collapsed, the whole world acknowledged the United States as the sole superpower and the world's policeman, etc. They actually elevated the United States to that role. So you can actually see the United States being elevated there in 1989.
And it is beginning. Remember what we identified, that when God unseals the prophetic truth here, it begins to be raised. Right? So the United States is also raised. What happens at midnight? One thing that you know, Sister always says that it's going to be the darkest hour in terms of sin. Right? That's the final height of satanic power. But at midnight is also going to be the greatest light for God's people. So here, the United States begins its ascendancy. Right? And it reaches its pinnacle at this point. Right? Do you see that? Good. Just want to look for one or two quotes. Yeah, good. Let's go to, I just want to put what Sister White says concerning what I have just said and tie it up, then move to the next point. This is Review Herald, March 21, 1907, paragraph 3.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Review Herald, March 21, 1907, paragraph 3. So it will be good to read this whole chapter, because this is where I started understanding that Daniel 7 and Daniel 8 1 go here. Right? The whole chapter, I'm just going to take glimpses. The 27th, 29th, and 30th and 31st chapters of Jeremiah, right, with the prophecies of the 25th chapter, are the letters and records that Daniel the prophet, during the first year of the reign of Darius the Mede, prayerfully studied, 70 years and more after they were written. Daniel was familiar with the circumstances connected with Jeremiah's testimonies, given very soon after the beginning of the Babylonian captivity. Right? He well knew the promise of the return was sure, and yet a short time before, in the 3rd year of the reign of King Belshazzar, the angel of the Lord instructed in vision, unto 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed. So she's saying that from Darius the Mede to when vision was given, it is a short time before. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. From Daniel 9:1 to Daniel 8:1, there's a short time. Are we together? Mm-hmm. Good. Review Herald, March 21, 1907. Paragraph 8. Same chapter. Same chapter. Paragraph 8 now. The prayer of Daniel in Daniel 9 was not offered in vain. Even before he had finished pleading with God, Gabriel again appeared to him and called to his attention to the vision he had seen prior to the fall of Babylon and the death of Belshazzar. Which vision was this? Daniel 8. Okay, let me read this again. The prayer of Daniel in Daniel 9 was not offered in vain. Even before he had finished pleading with God, Gabriel again appeared to him and called his attention to the vision he had seen prior to the fall of Babylon at the death of Belshazzar. Which vision did he see prior to the fall of Babylon at the death of Belshazzar? That Daniel came to explain in Daniel chapter 9. Understand the mare and separate the deba. Right? Daniel chapter 9. Right? The angel then outlined in detail the period of 70 weeks, beginning at the time of the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem. So it ties this to Daniel chapter 8. Right? Right together. So you see why I did what I did. Do you see why I did what I did? You don't see why I did what I did. It doesn't. Okay, not even one person. Okay, I'm saying there are 3 years to Belshazzar. Daniel chapter 7 is the first year of Belshazzar. Daniel chapter 8 is the 3rd year of Belshazzar. But this 3rd year is his final year. Right? But in his final year, this is where Darius begins to rule. Then, when Sister White is now showing us now this truth, she says, Daniel 9 was not offered in vain. Even before he had finished pleading with God, Gabriel again appeared to him and called his attention to the vision he had seen prior to the fall of Babylon, the death of Belshazzar. Yeah.
I think it makes sense if people get paragraph 3 and then link it with paragraph 3.
Okay, just read paragraph 3.
Maybe just a portion of it, which says that these, like she lists the chapters that he read from Jeremiah. Then she says, these were the prophecies of the 25th chapter are the letters and records that Daniel, the prophet, during the first year of the reign of Darius, the Mede, prayerfully studied 3 years and more after they were written. Daniel was familiar with the circumstances connected with Jeremiah's testimonies, given very soon after the Babylonian captivity. He well knew that the promise of the return was sure, and yet a short time before, in the reign of the 3rd year of King Belshazzar, the angel of the Lord had instructed him in vision. So paragraph 3 actually nails what you're saying in paragraph 8 down.
Okay.
That he made the prayer in the first year, but a short time before.
I read that
That's
paragraph
it.
too.
No, what I'm saying is so that people get it.
Okay.
Link the two paragraphs.
Okay, at least I got one person. Okay, it's going to be in an article. It's in an article. The point is, I wanted to show you that Daniel 7, Daniel 8 are marking the time of the end. And they're separated by this 2-year period. And Sister White confirms this with this statement, if you read this whole chapter. That she'll tell you that there's this short 12. And she'll tell you that when he did this, it was prior. Prior to what does prior mean? Before. Right? That means it's linked. Daniel 8:1 and Daniel 7:1 are linked. It's prior. Right? Because if you're going to be reading historians, they don't even understand that Belshazzar was there. So you won't see this in history. But you can see this in the Bible and in the spirit of prophecy. And Haskell identifies it. Right? How do you get it? But some give Belshazzar's reign also of like 9 years.
Some even 18.
Some even not 18. Yeah. But Belshazzar's reign is what? 3 years. Do you see what I'm saying? Right. Okay, good. Okay, this one, I think that one is done. So Daniel says one thing that's important. He says, I shall show you what is what? Noted in the word of Scripture. So what's noted in the word of Scripture is that at the time of the end, the United States becomes the 6th kingdom of Bible prophecy. But if you're going to read Daniel chapter 7, when you're going to read it in completion, it will tell you that there are going to arise 4 kings out of the earth. And a king is a kingdom. And you're saying that there are going to be 4 kings in the United States from the time of the end. Right. So from 1989, there are going to be 4 kings out of the earth, and the earth is the United States. Because where does the second beast of Revelation 18 come from? The earth. Are we still together? Yes. The earth in Revelation chapter 13 is the earth in Daniel chapter 7. Why do we know that? Because God is not an author of confusion. Right? And because of that code which ties Daniel, Revelation is one book. Right? So what you see in the book of Daniel is in the book of Revelation. If it is not in the book of Revelation, you cannot prove it in the book of Daniel. Are we still together? Yes. Okay, good. So I'm saying, so when you're going to see these 4 kings, 10 minutes. Okay, but at least you have understood that this is marking the time of the end. Right? And at this time of the end, in the very book where God identifies the time of the end, it is marking the history of the United States with Daniel chapter 7, where it's going to tell you that there shall arise 4 kings out of the earth. But because Daniel 7 is like Daniel chapter 8, right? And you're told that Daniel chapter 8 up to Daniel chapter 12 is one vision. So that means Daniel 8 to 12 and Daniel chapter 7 are the same. Right? So the sequence that you're going to see in Daniel chapter 7 is the sequence that you're going to see in the vision from Daniel chapter 8 going forward. But Daniel chapter 8 is repeated and enlarged in Daniel chapter 11. So let's go to Daniel chapter 11. So let's go to Daniel chapter 11, verse 1. We'll never finish. You know, these things you need. The thing is, you need. I'll try and write a document that is really explained. But what you need to do is you need to go down now and start looking at these things yourself. Because I can never come, I cannot. That means I'm not going to do it half of what I prepared. So Daniel 11 verse 1. Also I in the first year of Darius the Mede, even I stood to confirm and strengthen him. So for me, I know how we've been explaining this. This is how I understand this. He has just been told by God, by Gabriel, that I shall show you what shall befall the people in the latter days. He's been told this. And so far, you now understand this concept of the time of the end. But Daniel chapter 8 is about the time of the end. Right? So this concept has been explained to you. And he tells you in Daniel chapter 10, I understood what I was told. If you read Daniel 10 verse 1, just read Daniel 10 verse 1. In the third year of the reign of, in the third year of Cyrus, king of Persia, a thing was revealed unto Daniel, whose name was Belshazzar. And the thing was true, and the time appointed was long, and understood the thing, and the understanding of the vision. So Daniel had some glimpses of what had been taught him prior. Because the angel came and explained to him in Daniel chapter 9. And I'm saying the concept of the time of the end is explained to him, is introduced in Daniel chapter 8, but it's actually introduced in Daniel chapter 7. Right? So he understands this thing. But what God does now, he takes him back to Daniel chapter, to the first year of the reign of Darius. Why? Because the United States needs to be pinpointed from the time of the end. You can only start dating the kings at the time of the end. So he needs to explain that. So Daniel 10, so Daniel 11 verse 1. So I also in the first year of Darius the Mede, even I stood to confirm and strengthen him. Verse 2. And now I will show you the truth. Behold, they shall stand up yet 3 kings. So is it the first time to yet stand up yet 3 kings in Persia? No, they already stood up in Daniel chapter 7. In the earth kingdom. So this is not a strange thing to you. This is something that is being, the vision is given unto you twice because it is what? Established. So God is giving him again so that he understands what has been given. Right? There shall yet stand 3 kings in Persia, and the 4th shall be far richer. And they all, and by his strength, through his riches, he shall stay up against the realm of Gracia. Right, I'm going to pause there. Where's the marker? The eraser. So God is saying from the time of the end, yet stand 3 kings in Greece. And who are these 3 kings? Because they're saying we have Bush and Reagan here at the time of the end. So who comes after Bush? Yes.
We're saying that because Persia is the United States.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's the second ruler? It's the Medes and the Persians, right? And this vision, when he's seeing this, where is he? In the Medes and the Persians. So the story, actually the subject of Daniel 8 is the Medes and the Persians. Daniel 7, the Medes and the Persians. Because when you start seeing the vision, I'm talking about Daniel chapter 8. The Medes and the Persians. Right? So the subject is the United States at the time of the end. The whole Bible prophecy is pointing to the story of the United States at the end of the world. Right? So there is Clinton. Who comes after Clinton? Bush who? Right? After Bush who comes? Obama. And who comes after Obama? Trump. It does not mean that after Trump there's not going to be any other president. It doesn't mean that. But this is just identifying that it is the fourth president that is going to change things. Is Cyrus the Great, Xerxes the Great. So this will be, so in terms of the Persian kings, as they happened in their natural order, who was the first king? At the time of Daniel, how many kings did you have in Persia? Darius and who? And Cyrus. And who comes after Darius and Cyrus? After Cambyses? Or what? Badir. Right? That's what the secular sources call it. He has another name. Badas. Right? Badir. After Badir, who comes? Darius Hystaspes. After Darius Hystaspes, who comes? Xerxes. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 6, this one. I'm left with 2 minutes. Okay, I'm not going to introduce another concept. This is the last concept that I'm introducing. So Isaiah 6:1. Okay, Isaiah 1. Isaiah 1. Sorry, Isaiah 1. Then I'm going to give you 5 minutes to conclude. Isaiah 1:1. The vision of Isaiah the son of Amos, which he saw concerning Judah, Jerusalem, in the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, Hezekiah, kings of Judah. How many kings? 4. Why 4 kings? Which kingdom was he? Judah. What is Judah? 2. A 2 on power. Right? So line upon line. And we showed, is it yesterday or the day before yesterday? We showed that Uzziah is showing you the progressive fall of the United States. Right? Up to the Sunday law. Right? Remember we did the church and state? Remember? Okay, good. So we have who? Uzziah. Then who? Jotham. Then who? Then Hezekiah. And what we have been told is this. It is written, isn't it?
Uzziah is supposed to be
And time is no more. And who? Hezekiah. Let's go to Daniel 7, verse 1. Verse, I think it's 13. Daniel 7, not 13. Daniel 7. Daniel 7, 17. Yes, Daniel 7, 17. Daniel 7, 17. Says this. These great beasts, which are 4 kings which shall arise out of the earth. So you're going to get the first beast, which is Babylon. Okay, I just put it as a lion. A bear. What else? A leopard. And dreadful beast. So I'm just going to end it here in terms of the 4 kings. So each of these lines is giving you a contribution about these last 4 kings. Right? We're not going to talk about the steering up. I'm going to start the steering up on it. But the thing is, I won't be able to go to where I want to go. But I'll finish where the Lord will lead us. But the point is, I want to make sure that everyone understands the concept that I'm bringing in. The reason why I'm emphasizing this Because if you miss the time of the end, you've missed the whole structure. Are we together? So, in summary, what are we saying about the time of the end? It is marked by the number 2. And why? Because it's called the Palmoni, the wonderful number. So you see these 2 people, you see these 2 years, you always see this gap, or these 2 people, or these 2 years, because it's marking the progressive fall of a kingdom. Right? Are we together? And this time of the ends, from ancient, right, goes straight through history, and they're linked by the golden clasp of prophecy up to the close of human probation. Right? And at each time when this time of the ends arrive, there is a prophecy or a prophetic truth that is unsealed by the line of the tribe of Judah, which the generation of that time need to understand. In the time of Noah, he built the ark. And he built the ark before the flood came. And the reason why I'm emphasizing this is I'm taking you back to the lesson of the morning. One of the arks that we need to build is schools for God's people who are coming. It is the work that needs to be done before the flood comes. Right? One of the work is the health work, the medical missionary work. Sometimes I used to be like this. That I'm just a prophecy student. I don't medical missionary work. It's just a lot of work. If you have a patient, you need to wake up at night and do with that patient. But it is our duty in this history to become familiar with these things. What is one of the things that Daniel was in Daniel chapter 2 before midnight? They were experts in all forms of learning. Right? So that entails that in the time of the end, when we begin seeing the United States coming to its fall, then God's people need to have this corresponding work that corresponds to the work of the hour. Are we together? And I'm going to end there. To do the stirring up and all the other gems that are there in the next presentation. But that means I'm only left with 2 presentations. Yes, I'm only left with 2 presentations. So with those 2 presentations, I'm not going to move as how the Lord has led, but I wanted to get to the monopoly, and all those things, but I won't be able to get to the monopoly. So let us, let us pray. Dear Father in heaven, we thank you so much for the time that you've given us to study your word. We've looked from the book of Isaiah and the book of Daniel. We've seen that the book of Daniel is identifying the time of the end. It's identifying what shall befall thy people in the last days. And it's being identified in the exact time when these things are being fulfilled in our eyes. Give us the necessary response, like the response of John, when he turned and he listened to you, and then he had that experience of falling to the ground, that he might be given the message by you. Give us this experience in our day-to-day life, but above all, teach us also to separate from sin, and the filthiness of the flesh, things that easily beset us, and that easily separate us from you, from understanding this message. Create for us more time, as you gave Daniel more time to read the books, to understand, and to study these things afresh, that you might get the precious gems that are hidden in these truths, so that we may be able to nail down these things, so that, as in the history of William Miller, they said, the arguments had been presented, and they were sure, and everyone could understand that this world was coming to an end. We thank you, Lord, and give us the same power and spirit and godliness that is corresponding to the wickedness that is happening in the world. And above all, may you make us our religion, not a lip service religion, but a religion that professes what you're learning. Subdue our hearts, those of us who are as tempestuous as Peter, subdue them. And those of us who are like John, may you make them more zealous for the truth, so that we might be balanced Christians in this world. We praise thee and we thank thee for the elder that are among us who are studying with us, and for their guidance that they're giving us as we are moving in this journey. For all this and many, many other blessings, we are grateful. Amen.
Amen.